Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Full Count. I'm your host, Mike Passarelli, and I'm joined once again by Joe Barbito and Owen Pence. Boys, happy to have you here.
Glad to be here.
All right, let's get right into it with our first question. MLB predictions. What are you boys thinking? Owen, you got the floor.
All right, I think Gary Sanchez, the god, gonna hit 60 home runs. That's a low estimate, all right? Maybe 70. Break the Barry Bonds record, you already know. Young Babe Ruth out here in these streets. All right. Mark Teixeira's retired. He's taking care of his kids. That's where he should be. All right. He was whack at baseball. And the Yankees are going to win the World Series. They're going to beat the Mets in the Subway Series. The Mets are washed, frankly, I think. And that's my prediction.
All right. Joe, your rebuttal.
How could the Mets be washed if they're going to get to the World Series to play the Yankees in the first place? I mean, if we're going to...
That'd be a great World Series.
It's kind of hard for a bad team to make the World Series, don't you think? With all the other talent in the National League. So, Mets can't be washed if they're going to make the World Series, which they will, and they're going to win the World Series, and they're going to beat, probably, I would assume, the Red Sox, because if we're going to talk about teams in the American League East that have talent on them, might as well talk about probably the odds-on favorite right now to win the American League. Definitely going to go with the Mets Red Sox World Series. It's going to be like 1986 all over again. Little roller behind the bag gets by whoever's playing first base for them right now. Pablo Sandoval, okay, lost a lot of weight. Can he keep it off? All right, baseball, long season. Fenway Franks, they're not bad. Tasty Burger right outside of Fenway Park. Pablo Sandoval, I'm sorry, I don't think you're going to be on the roster come July.
All right. Well, some good points from both of you guys, but I'm going to have to give this one to Owen. Just gave a much more cohesive and coherent argument than you just kind of went off the rails about the Mets, and it's just incoherent.
Pablo Sandoval.
Moving right along to question 2. So, I've recently been informed that the NHL Trade Deadline is fast approaching. Thoughts on that? Joe?
It's kind of a problematic year with the whole Las Vegas expansion draft happening now. No one really wants to move anyone because no one really knows who's even going to be on their team next year, given the fact that they might just end up on a team that doesn't even exist right now. Frankly, you might see a couple of veterans move. Shane Doan, Jerome McGinley. You might see some of those guys because they won't provide much value for anyone next year, but it's going to be the extent of 6th or 7th round picks. This is going to be a very quiet trade deadline. There won't be any big blockbuster deals, and overall I think it's going to be a quiet entrance into March. As they say, go into it like a lamb.
Indeed.
Did they say that?
Owen.
Is that a thing people
Can
say?
you believe this? Fake news? I don't understand. Fake news, that's what you are. Okay? I have the most tremendous hockey takes, only the best. Right? 6th, 7th round picks. Fake news.
Well, that was certainly a riveting response, but I gotta be honest with you guys, I don't know anything about hockey, and you kind of just did a Trump impression, which I appreciate, but I also kind of hate you for it, so I'm gonna give that one to Joe, because he actually mentioned hockey, so very nice. Moving right along to question 3. Alright boys, Northeastern men's and women's hockey. The playoffs are coming up. Who do you think is going to do better? Who do you think is going to go farther? Joe, you're up.
I think the road for the men's hockey team is it's going to be easier, especially if they get the home ice playoff series that it looks like they're going to get right now, especially if they win their next series against Maine. Last year you got big goaltending from Ryan Ruck, and it carried you all the way to the conference finals. That's basically the deciding factor this year is if they can get that again from him. You've got arguably like the best trio of forwards, Zach Aston-Reese, Dylan Sikora, Adam Gaudette. So things look good for them if they can get good goaltending. But I will say the women's hockey team this year, Bogalski's been an absolute brick wall for the entire season. And if you're going to rely on goaltending, that's a more sure thing, I think. So both these teams have a potential for a finals run. I would look at the women's team this year to probably win their first title in quite a long time.
That's very nice. And for our viewers who don't know, goaltending is legal?
The last time I checked, they did allow you to goaltend in hockey. possibly for the past 100 or so years. I can't confirm for you.
Just wanted to clarify for those who may not know. Owen, what are your predictions?
I think the women's team is also going to win the title, and it's supposed to be opposing takes here, but Joe kind of made my point for me there at the end. And I mean, as far as the men's team goes, I think that as illustrious a history as Northeastern men's hockey has, I mean, just absolute success across the board, really one of the top-notch programs. I think this is the year that they really don't live up to the expectations and kind of fall short. You know, the Beanpot kind of preempted it, and I think it's just going to continue from there.
Definitely understandable. Well, some great points once again, but I'm going to have to give this one to Joe because just clearly he name dropped like 6 or 7 players. Like, I don't even know what you're talking about. It was very intimidating, and I'll give you that, but he still gets the point.
That's fair.
Moving right along to question 4. KD and Russ. Apparently they got some beef going on. What are your thoughts? Owen?
Alright, I'm Team Russie all the way. This is something I'm very passionate about. Russell Westbrook is a hero. He's a pettiness hero that we can all look up to.
Oh yeah.
The All-Star break was this weekend, and Russ was asked about his relationship with KD, and he avoided every question by talking about different types of his fashion and his attire. And it's a level of pettiness that we can all aspire to one day reach. Imagine if you come home late on a Friday night, you're in high school, you're kind of not in your right state, your dad confronts you at the door. He says, "What have you been doing all night?" And you said, "Dad, I think these shoes look great with this outfit. I don't know about you, but personally, I just think it's really working for me." And then you go to bed. That's hero level stuff right there. So Team Russie.
Oh, I can definitely get behind that. Joe, what do you got?
If we're gonna talk about shoes, Owen, I don't think you're matching today. I think that's the real problem here. I mean, so you got some nice shoes. I like the shoes. The deal is with the shoes, you got this inside color pattern going on there. I mean, they're pink, orange, blue, all sorts of these things. Only inside the shoe. The outside is all blue. And then he's got this shirt, right? The shirt's it's interesting, but the pattern just doesn't work. And you got this whole look where you're trying to match the athletic, trendy jogger thing. So if your whole deal with trying to get off of actually confronting your problems is talking about your shoes, I mean, at least make it work with whatever else you're wearing. That's all I gotta say.
Well, that was eye-opening, to say the least. Joe, I don't even think you mentioned KD or Russ or beef. You kind of just talked about and completely
I mentioned all those things.
Desecrated Owen's entire outfit.
Which is fly.
Yeah, no, it is pretty fly. So I'm going to give that point to Owen, just clearly. And also that metaphor. Beautiful. All right, we'll see you in question 5. All right, boys. So sources tell me that a certain Kyrie Irving made some comments last week or so regarding that the Earth is flat.
Stay woke.
What? Wait. The Earth is flat.
So what do you think?
Well, the Earth is not flat. How is the? Are you kidding me? What is it with this show? We just keep the talking heads. The Earth. I'm out. I'm done. I can't be part of this anymore. I'm over it. This is ridiculous. I can't.
Hey guys, James Duffy, Flat Earther here. Flat Earther, yeah. Good to meet you guys.
Oh, it looks like he's actually got he's a certified flat earther actually.
Yeah, the Flat Earth Association of America certified.
Well, Mr. Duffy, thank you so much for joining us.
My pleasure.
Would you care to answer the question? Flat Earth, yes or no?
There's no other opinion, honestly. The Earth is round, really? Do you have proof of that, Mike? I mean, Kyrie Irving plays with a round ball all day long. He knows better what spheres are like than anybody in the world. Let me ask you this question.
It's not a bad argument.
Hey, if Earth was round, how would airplanes take off?
Mike, if Earth was round, how are we standing on a flat surface here? They built Snell Library, right? They built Snell Library on flat ground. If the Earth is round, that doesn't really make sense, does it?
You might think about it.
You go to a top institution.
What about swimming pools, right? If the Earth was round, wouldn't the water fall out of the sides because it would just kind of topple over?
Mike, think about all the missing people that have gone missing in America. We have no explanation for, right? You see missing dog, right, on your telephone pole.
It's tragic.
Missing 6-year-old.
Indeed.
That's so
I
heart-wrenching.
don't know if you really
We
see
have no
6-year-olds on
explanation
telephone
for
poles,
it. Stranger Things. Disappear. Where's Barb?
You think they
She walked off the earth.
they go somewhere? Someone
Well,
takes them?
Technically, she went to the upside down, which is just kind of flop.
Hey, don't change the subject.
Understandable.
Let me ask you. Have you ever gone around the globe?
Well, so this show isn't really, you're not asking me the questions, I'm asking you the questions.
Stay woke.
Well, that was certainly some eye-opening and factual-based arguments that we just heard. I don't really know how to respond to that, so I'm just going to go ahead and give it to Owen because Joe left and therefore he forfeited. So, Owen, congratulations. You win again. Very nice. Mr. Duffy, thank you for joining us.
My pleasure.
Best of luck. Don't fall off the edge.
And if you want to hear about mermaids or aliens next week, just give me a call. Here's my my mermaid and alien card. If you want to that's my number for that one.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We'll see you next time on Full Count.